At this point, Destiny is notorious for removing large amounts of content from the game, so I've dug up as much footage as I could find from the last 5 years of expansions. In this video, I'm going to rank all of the deleted locations from Destiny's history from best to worst. So strap in because this is going to be a big video, but first a word from our sponsor. Raid Shadow Legends is an RPG game that you can play on your phone and PC. Personally, I love discovering all about Raid's bosses, especially for the more powerful ones like the Demon Lord and Hydra. The campaign has you go on a huge adventure to push back the forces of darkness, which serves as a great introduction. Delve into a dark fantasy world and uncover the backstories of nearly 700 unique champions. Raid have just released a new legendary champion based off MMA and pro wrestling legend Ronda Rousey. You can get Ronda for free right now just by logging into Raid. All you've got to do is log in and play Raid for 7 days between now and February 20th. Also, if you're an Amazon Prime member, you can also get some exclusive rewards in Raid right now. To celebrate Ronda's arrival in Raid, you can also use the special promo code RAIDRONDA to get a 3-day 100% XP boost, 500,000 silver and 5 full energy refills. If you are a new player, use my link or scan the QR code right here, and you'll get a free starter pack worth almost $30. You'll also get a free champion called Terrell and all of this awesome loot. You will find your rewards here in your inbox for the next 30 days. Thank you to Raid for sponsoring this video. Okay, let's talk about every single vaulted location inside of Destiny 2. For the ranking, I'm only going to include sunset locations that had a patrol zone. This means places like the Almighty, Old Tower and Lost City will not be covered. But if this video does do well, I'd be happy to do one on other locations and maybe even Destiny 1. We're going to start with an original Red War location. Titan is a methane ocean moon, decorated by long-abandoned Golden Age structures such as the New Pacific Arcology. This location was infested by the Hive, but you could also find fallen scavengers in the area. Titan was actually the second smallest public location in Destiny after Mercury, with the second lowest amount of lost sectors and adventures as well. Titan is also home to one of Destiny's biggest unsolved mysteries. There's multiple secrets or Easter eggs which indicate the presence of some sort of sea monster. If you look at the ocean for long enough, it is possible to see some sort of creature breaching the surface. Then, in the missions Utopia and Ace in the Hole, if you look through the window, you can actually see this. There is a theory that due to the similarities in appearance as well as the hive infestation, it's possible this is just some sort of hive worm. Sloane was the vendor for this location. She offered bounties, weapons and a unique armor set. You could increase your reputation for Alkane Dust, which was the planetary material for Titan. I should also give an honourable mention to Greg. He was the boss in the Cargo Bay Lost sector and would always be down to help with damage testing for countless YouTube videos. Although Titan is one of the most unique locations, it's also one of the smallest and one of the most underutilized. Aside from the theme and aesthetic of the location, I just feel it doesn't bring much to the table. For example, it would have been so cool to explore the Biodome area. And I also feel that there's some unfinished business with the mystery of that sea monster. If this location was expanded on, I could easily chuck it in the A tier, but in the form that it was vaulted, and since it's just so small, I'm going to have to put it in the B tier. Io is a moon of Jupiter. In Destiny's lore, it's also one of the last places the Traveler visited. At this location you could find Cabal, Vex and the Taken. Again, this was a pretty small area, but it did include 3 lost sectors and a really cool secret mission. The secret Whisper of the Worm mission was absolutely fantastic and might as well be classified as a dungeon. Io also included some pretty cool foreshadowing. There was a Rasputin themed adventure which hinted at the Warmind expansion. Then, if we take a look at the skybox, it was actually possible to see Europa. The vendor for the location was Asher. He offered weapons and a unique armor set. You could increase your reputation with phase glass needles, which were the planetary material. In terms of ranking Io, I feel very similar to how I felt about Titan. The location itself looks amazing, but just feels like it's got some untapped potential. Again, I'm going to have to put this location in the B tier. A deeper dive into Io and its lore would be fantastic and could easily bump it up into the A tier. Mercury is the first planet in the solar system and closest to the Sun. The location itself is a Vex machine world. Field of Glass, Mercury's patrol zone, is divided into two main parts. The Infinite Forest, an activity-exclusive region which also encompasses the simulation past, present, and future regions. And then we've got the Lighthouse, an open world sector which serves as Mercury's patrol zone. It's worth noting the Infinite Forest couldn't be accessed freely, only letting players on certain activities such as Mercury adventures through the entrance. This location included one lost sector, 3 adventures, and a unique public event. The enemies at this location would be Vex, Cabal, Fallen, and Hive. But if I'm going to be really nerdy, the Fallen and Hive were technically simulated. Mercury's past is one of my favourite looking locations ever added to Destiny. It's such a shame we had such limited access to it, and I would love to see it return. The vendor for the location is Brother Vance. If you played Destiny 1, you may recognise him from the Reef. He would offer bounties, weapons, and a unique armor set. You could increase your reputation for simulation seeds. I will say Mercury did have its moments. The whole thing with Saint 14 was fantastic, and weapon forging was pretty interesting. Shout out to everybody who's got the Sagira Ghost Shell. When ranking the location, I don't think it's fair grouping in the Infinite Forest and its regions, because they were only accessible through activities. The accessible area of Mercury is the smallest in the game and only offers one lost sector and a pretty lackluster public event. For those reasons, I'm going to put this location in the C tier. Allowing access to the Infinite Forest in patrol and maybe adding some landing zones in the past and present would easily bump this up. Just like the rest of the planets in the system, Mars is littered with ruins from the Golden Age. Alongside that, it's also home to the AI warmind Rasputin. This is a larger location with 2 landing zones, 2 lost sectors, and also the Escalation Protocol activity. It would feel like a disservice to call Escalation Protocol a public event, as it was just so much more than that. This was a really fun, wave-based activity which paved the way for a lot of the content we have now. In terms of enemies, you would find Cabal, Vex, and Hive. Anna Bray was the vendor and offered bounties, weapons, and a unique armor set. You could increase your reputation with Seraphite, the planetary material. Also worth noting, Mars did come with a new relic too called the Valkyrie. This was an explosive Rasputin themed javelin. Destiny 2 Mars was not a bad location whatsoever. It's much larger than previous offerings and it had quite a bit more to do. I have fond memories of Escalation Protocol, and I feel this location really forged its own identity outside of its Destiny 1 counterpart. For those reasons, I feel it's earned itself a spot in the A tier. The Tangled Shore is an asteroid wasteland within the Reef. The location is composed of 4 main areas with public events. It was one of the largest explorable areas, with a whopping 5 lost sectors and 7 adventures, but then it did only have 1 landing zone. The Tangled Shore was the only zone in Destiny 2 to contain every single enemy race. Fallen, Hive, Cabal, and Scorn can be found in patrol. The Vex are found in the Warden of Nothing Strike, and the Taken can be found in the Nothing Left to Say story mission. This location also came with 2 new public events. The main vendor for this location was the Spider. He offered destination bounties, wanted bounties, and a material exchange. There was also an Easter egg where he would try and sell you unobtainable black market goods. The most notable here being the Galahorn. Although this isn't my favourite looking destination, you can't deny how much content was packed into it. The Tangled Shore had so much to do and some of the best lost sectors we've ever seen. For me, I'm going to put the Tangled Shore in the A tier. I do think this location is clawing at the S tier, but there's only 2 locations I think I could put in there. Anyway guys, what do you think to my ranking? And yes, I'm well aware that Titan is the fan favourite here, I just couldn't bring myself to put it above B. If you want me to rank the rest of the locations, just let me know. Obviously we've got Destiny 1 as well. Aside from that, thank you so much for 40,000 subscribers. I am very busy with university at the moment, but new videos will be coming soon. And I'll see you in the next one.